And finally, new rule, Americans need to find a better way to say, I disagree with your position than I'm going to kill you. It's one of the few things the left and the right have in common now. Adam Schiff and Chuck Schumer received death threats for impeaching Trump, and Susan Collins got death threats for not impeaching him. A guy named Salvatore Lippa was arrested last week for calling Schiff's office and saying, I dare you to come to New York because I will put a bullet in your fucking forehead. And then he went back to the bar and started screaming, how come women don't like nice guys? Last week, some Bernie bros got very angry at the Culinary Union in Nevada for preferring their own current health care plan to Bernie's Medicare for All. And as we know, the price for advocating for an alternative health care plan is death. Except these are people on your own team, fellow workers, fellow Democrats with a slightly different idea, who you want to kill. This is what was so frightening to Karamo Brown, one of the stars on Queer Eye, who got death threats after saying he planned to be nice to Republican Sean Spencer on Dancing with the Stars. Mr. Brown said, the minute that my son started getting death threats was the worst moment for me because a lot of it wasn't coming from the other side. It was coming from my own side, his own side. Death threats from liberals to children. Over this? Why don't they just make an app for death threats? You could call it Ender. Look, I'm not saying there's no place for blind bloodlust, like in the Bible, or when they run out of the chicken sandwich at Popeyes. But everything? A singer who wore her support for Trump proudly to the Grammys got death threats. Gayle King got death threats for asking a too-soon question about Kobe Bryant. Ilhan Omar gets death threats for being an immigrant, and death threats went out to a woman who wrote a pro-immigrant book because she wasn't actually an immigrant. The Ukraine whistleblower got death threats, and nobody even knew who it was. They just sent open letters to whom it may concern, I'm going to kill you. This is what happens when you let cancel culture spin out of control. It's the same attitude, just taken a little further. We take your livelihood, let's just go ahead and take your life. Because all the geniuses in this country are so 1,000,000% sure they're right about everything, that it's always just my way or the die way. You know, Trump may want to be a dictator, but he is hardly alone. A lot of people in this country love to say, off with their head. Don't like that thing you purchased? Threaten to burn down the factory. Don't agree with someone who won the Oscar? Tell them you're going to find where they live and slit their throat. Don't like the call the ref made at your kid's soccer game? Send them a picture of you brandishing an axe. When did Americans become the fatwa people? Every minor dispute has to go from 0 to Mel Gibson in 3 seconds? Did you know that the new pop sensation Billie Eilish spent her big night at the Grammys apologizing for winning? Yeah, because her overriding emotion wasn't pride, it was fear that superfans of rival pop stars would attack her. Oh, if only we had this kind of passion for something that mattered in this country. Billie Eilish kept winning all night, and she kept saying things like, no, and please don't let it be me. And all the other artists in this category, I know your fans are going to talk shit about me for years because of this. Imagine being 18, winning 5 Grammys, and all you could think of is, oh shit, they know where I live. You know things are out of control when even potheads are issuing death threats. Yeah. Reporter Alex Berenson recently cited a link between weed legalization and a rise in violent crime, and pro-cannabis activists wanted his head on a pike. Let me tell you, if you're a stoner and you want to kill someone, you might consider switching from sativa to indica.